Okay, here we go. So, Supreme Team consists of these guys here. The guy in the red shirt would be Supreme, brown skinned dude with the light eyes. The guy on the left would be Prince. I forgot his full name. Let me see if I see it on here somewhere. But it's Prince and Supreme. Gerald Prince Miller is his name. Gerald Prince Miller and Kenneth Supreme McGriff. Now, these guys, oh boy, like I said, they are your typical drug dealers from poverty-stricken government housing neighborhoods that got famous from having cars and jewelry and fancy clothes and for the destruction of their community. That's what they famous for, the destruction of the community. All right. As you can see, the guy, this is the cover with the guy holding the gun behind his back, which symbolizes violence and killing. And the reason why I am so bummed out about this, because I am tired of niggas glorifying street dudes. Like as if they did something special when all they did was kill up a bunch of people just so they could sell more drugs. So when I was younger, I used to be fascinated with all this stuff. But as you can see, this is where it lands you in the penitentiary. And people will still glorify that as well. You know, so Nas, a guy that wasn't a street guy, you know, was fascinated by these type of guys because he didn't live it. Nas did a documentary on the Supreme Team, or a docu-series, because it's 3 parts, so it's not really a documentary because it's cut up into pieces, right? And it's all about, well, it's not all about. It's mainly about the crack epidemic and police and the government and the mayors and the Giuliani and everything else but the Supreme Team. The Supreme Team story is about 30%. Well, Supreme's story is about 30% of this documentary. And I knew without even watching it that it was going to be whitewashed. You know what I'm saying? Because I know how the industry is. I know when the white people cut the bag, how they got to have their input in it. And Nas ain't no real director. You know, he's trying. You know, Ralph McDaniels, I guess that whole little thing, you know, if not my man in 1-9 and may inspired him. I don't know. But now, you know, he's in this documentary realm or whatever. But the direction of it was whack. Nas directed it along with probably some white person. And it is just like, I hate that white people feel like, oh, for us to tell this story, we got to tell the story of crack and how crack got into the neighborhood and how, like, no, we don't got to tell the goddamn story about how crack got into the neighborhood. We know how crack got into the neighborhood. We don't have to talk about the political side, this, that, and other. We want to hear if you telling us the Supreme Team story, give us the Supreme Team story. We don't want to hear about the government and the like how crack was infiltrated and where it started from and how you make crack, and like we know all that shit. Y'all just taking up a whole bunch of time that y'all could be really spending on the stories and the people of the stories. But these Nas is a novice director, you know what I'm saying? And he's going to let these people tell him, oh, you got to do it like this because you got to explain. Because for the broader audience, you know, of the people that's watching that's not from the ghetto, no, you don't. 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 They took that one scene from New Jack City where they in there talking about Nino Brown, he was a destruction of the community. And I wasn't raised in, it was no poppy fields in Harlem. They made that 75% of this goddamn docu-series that show us it ain't no poppy fields in Queensbridge and where crack came from and the hustle and like, oh my God, yo. Like, as I've been in these meetings with these people, and they tried to do it with me with the tunnel thing. Oh, you got to tell the story of crack to show how rap started. No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. I don't have to tell the story about crack and say that crack started hip hop. No, no. We can just talk about the goddamn tunnel. We ain't got to talk about crack. We ain't got to talk about Giuliani and Mayor Dinkins and like, yo, this documentary was driving me insane. Like, I wanted to ram my head into the wall. They start talking about Supreme, and you think you're gonna get into some Supreme story or Fat Cat story, and then you know the police, they were going through so much at that time. The police at that time, they had it rough. They killed the cop. He was only 22. Okay, yeah, we know about the story with the cop with Fat Cat and the story. They made this whole 30-minute piece on the police. And yo, it was torture watching this. Torture. Then they got the little part in there about 50. This shit was so garbage. I'm sorry, Nas. I'm sorry, brother. You let them whitewash that project, Nas. Like, we didn't need all that shit. We wanted the gutter street story. We wanted to know why, you know, in depth of him and 50 beef, him and E-Money bags. Like, they talked about these things, but they spent so much time talking about politics and politicians and all that stuff that it wasn't no room for no meat and potatoes in the real street story. The niggas was giving you goddamn French fries for the street story and giving you steak and potatoes about the police and the politicians. I'm like, yo, nigga, I'm still hungry for the Supreme story. Like, why? Like, you got killing us with the politicians. Like, yo, my God, yo. I don't know if any of y'all saw this. Did you agree with me, disagree? Like, let me look at the comments. And then Nas ain't no street nigga. So he ain't pulling the real shit out of them. You know what I'm saying? Irv ain't no real street nigga. So you're not even getting no real street. Like, they don't know the right shit to actually, man, listen, man, them niggas got life. You know how good of this the story is? Oh, man. Nas dropped the ball on that one. He dropped the ball. I wish they'd have let me be a part of that. Y'all would have got the Supreme Team story. Trust me. Yeah, they didn't have nobody from the man, they dropped the ball, man. They dropped the ball. You had the opportunity to tell the Supreme Team story, and you waste 70% of it on telling the goddamn crack story and the backstory on crack. Dude. Oh, dude. What you mean Queens was not poverty stricken? Shit. Maybe not in the private houses, but you step in them goddamn projects, you got another story. I thought Nas was on Supreme Team. You thought Nas was Supreme Team. So 50 and Ja Rule more official than Nas. I don't know about Ja Rule, 50 years. I'm from Queens by way of Harlem. As a teen, we used to walk to those summer park jams in 40 Park. Gotta rock it in the pocket. Gotta rock. Yeah, yeah, even LL was in there, but same thing with LL. They was glorifying them because of the money that they had and the jewelry and the cars and all that. Like they was niggas was destroying the goddamn community. Indeed, Mrs. Matthews. Yeah. Sure it was, nigga. Whatever. You don't own no planes, no boats. I didn't watch it, wasn't interested in it. I wasn't interested in it either. But I had found out some information. So I wanted to go back and I wanted to look at that story to see if any of the information that I found out was in there. And of course, he spent, like I said, all the time talking about the backstory of crack.